Hello friends, I am Advocate Sulbha Chipde. I welcome you all to my channel. In one of the cases, matrimonial cases pending before the court had asked the parties to reach at some amicable solution as a way of resolving their disputes. Accordingly, the husband gave three proposals to the wife. The first proposal was that the wife should vacate the flat which she was at present occupying and also hand over the possession of their child to the husband. In exchange, the husband would give a substantial amount as a way of one-time alimony to the wife. The second proposal was that the husband would take care of the rental expenses and the maintenance expenses, educational expenses of the wife and the child, and in that case, in exchange, she would have to vacate the flat which she was at present occupying. The third proposal was that the wife could retain the custody of the child, and the husband and his family would never ever claim any custody over the child, and she should vacate the flat, and of course the husband would not provide for any maintenance in that case. Now if we see the proposals one by one, in the first case, it is necessary to tell you a brief background of this case. In this case, the wife and the husband were living separately from each other for the last 4-5 years. The husband or his families were not at all interested in the child or its welfare, and the child also did not have any affinity to the father or to the grandparents. Of course, the father did take him to the grandparents' place as he had obtained an order of access to the child, but more so the child came home in a very frustrated and sad mood. So the child also was not willing to live with the father or his grandparents. So it was less likely that the wife would accept the first proposal of taking a substantial amount as a way of permanent alimony and hand over the custody of the child to them. So the in-laws and the husband knew pretty well that she would never accept this, and therefore they tried to be very generous by offering her a substantial amount as a one-time alimony. In the second proposal, again, the common factor was that the wife should vacate the flat which she was occupying and which stood in the name of the father-in-law. And in that case, the husband claimed that he would provide for the rent and the maintenance of the child and the wife till in a situation she remarry. Till then he would provide for that. But in this case again, there was no guarantee that he would stand up to his words, as is there was an order of maintenance pending against him and in favor of the wife, and the maintenance amount had piled into some lakhs, but the husband was avoiding to pay the maintenance amount on one pretext or the other. He was not even thoughtful of that his child was taking good education or all that, and more so when they were very financially well off. So this again proposal was a very tall claim from the husband's side. The third proposal which was put forth by them was that they would never ever claim the custody of the child, and in exchange she should again hand over the vacant possession of the flat to them and take the child with her. This again was a very selfish proposal, because in that case they would get the flat vacated. At the same time, they would not have to provide for anything for her and the child, and at the same time, as they were not interested in the child whatsoever, they would get freed for life. So this is a random example of the various compromise proposals which are put forth in matrimonial proceedings. It is very likely that the woman may not accept such proposals which are of least favor to her. Now, supposing that she does not accept such proposals, then the matter will proceed to the next stage. It is very likely that in a petition for maintenance, the court may grant an maintenance amount to the wife and the child. At least the interim maintenance would be granted immediately. But for this, it is very necessary for the wife to produce some evidence before the court, to bring forth before the court the income of the husband. Friends, this is again a very Herculean task for the wife. to produce the income proof of the husband, more so when the husband is a consultant or is a freelancer or is a small time businessman and he is not a salaried person. So in that case, the court randomly passes an order of maintenance on the evidence which is produced before it. Now, even if the order of maintenance is passed, even then it is difficult for the wife to actually realize the amount of maintenance, because in most cases then not, the husband does not pay the maintenance amount in time. Then again it becomes a task for the wife to approach the court and then get an order of issuance of warrant against the husband, and only then the husband or his advocate turns up before the court and then parts with some amount of the already pending amount of maintenance. So this again is a very difficult way of realizing the maintenance amount for the wife. In some cases, it is even seen that the husband quits his job just to escape from the liability of maintenance. In some other cases, the whereabouts of the husband itself is not known. So whatever order of maintenance or like order is passed in favor of the wife, it becomes very inexecutable, and it is what we call a paper decree which cannot be executed. Friends, what happens in most matrimonial proceedings is that initially the parties are very hell-bent of making allegations and counter allegations and mudslinging on each other. What happens is that there are many enactments like the Criminal Procedure Code, the Domestic Violence Act, Hindu Maintenance and Adoption Act, and all these acts have made a provision for the payment of maintenance to the wife. But what happens is that after going through all this, they realize that it is a very difficult task. After spending some youthful years of their life, their money, their time and energy, the parties realize that it is a waste and little can be got from it. So it is always better to compromise, more so in a family dispute and more so in a matrimonial dispute, because in a matrimonial dispute nobody wins, both are losers. But at the same time, let me tell you that even if the parties want to reach at some solution, it should be suited to both of them, that it should be amicable to both of them. Only then we could say that an amicable solution is reached which serves the purpose of both. Now, as I told you the above example, in that example it is a one-sided proposal and nothing is begotten from that. The in-laws, though, are very financially well off in that case. They have been very guardedly saying that they will provide for the rent, but they have not made any mention that they would provide a permanent residence to her, however so small. So it is not, these things are not good proposals for the wife. Friends, remember that a woman is first a daughter and she comes into a relation of a daughter-in-law because the in-laws are attached to her as a family. So whenever the in-laws side or the husband side gives any proposal to the wife, please bear in mind that keep your daughter or your sister in her place and then make whatever proposals. And I am sure if this is kept in mind, an amicable solution will definitely be arrived at by both the parties, and in that case it could be said in the real sense that the dispute has been resolved. Friends, I thank you for watching my video. I would really appreciate if you give me your valuable suggestions and comments in the comment section below. At the same time, I would love it if you like, share and subscribe to my channel. Till then, bye.